The birthday toast hit like a slap I'd been waiting to feel for 34 years. My mother lifted her flute toward my sister Sophia and beamed, "To my shining star, who's built such a beautiful life, proof that good things come to those who shine." I stood beside the dessert table I'd spent the previous night arranging, chocolate torte layered with raspberry compote, Sophia's favorite, while 30 relatives clapped and cooed. Not one person looked my way. I set the knife down, met my mother's gaze across the crowded dining room, and said clearly, "Here's to beautiful lives. And to the day I stop auditioning for a seat at this table." I walked out through the French doors. No raised voice, no tears, just the quiet snick of the latch behind me. For most of my life I had been the background sibling. Sophia was the main character, homecoming queen, valedictorian, married at 23 to a private equity partner who bought a vineyard in Sonoma and filled Instagram with golden hour family portraits. Every gathering orbited her gallery openings, her charity luncheons, her twins' Montessori milestones. I was the reliable extra, the one who fixed the Wi-Fi, booked the caterer, remembered everyone's allergies. Cousins asked if I was still in computers. Aunt sent holiday cards addressed to Patricia or current resident. I learned to smile and say nothing. Attention felt dangerous. Invisibility felt safe. After university I moved to Chicago for a help desk job at a mid-sized bank. Days blurred into ticket queues, nights became self-education marathons, Rust, zero-trust architecture, red team simulations, building open-source threat hunting tools. I never announced milestones. The one time I mentioned a promotion, my father pivoted mid-sentence to ask Sophia about her new Pilates certification. So I rose quietly. Incident response lead. Principal security engineer. Vice president of cyber risk at a quantitative hedge fund. By 33 I was advising sovereign wealth funds on ransomware defense, owned a restored 3-flat in Logan Square outright, drove a manual BMW M3 I'd rebuilt myself, and flew business class to Singapore and Tel Aviv for closed-door briefings. My family believed I still shared an apartment in Wicker Park. Grandma's 85th was unavoidable. I arrived in charcoal wool and the simple gold bangle she'd slipped onto my wrist when I turned 16. Sophia swept in wearing oyster silk and statement diamonds, twins in tiny velvet blazers, already posing for photos. During the toasts my mother raised her glass again, to Sophia, who reminds us every day what grace and hard work can achieve. The room cheered. I waited until the applause crested, then spoke. "I'm happy Sophia brings you so much pride. I'm also finished trying to earn a fraction of it." I turned to Grandma. "I love you. I'll see you soon, alone." Then I left. The silence that followed felt like oxygen. For weeks the family thread filled with concerned performance. "Is Patricia okay? She's always been so dramatic." I muted notifications. Then the private outreach started. "Sophia, Mom was just emotional. Come for Easter." "Dad, we miss our girl." "Mom, you're taking this too personally." "We're family." I answered once. "I'm content where I am. Please give me space." The requests evolved. Sophia's husband wondered if I could audit their home network as a quick favor. Mom forwarded photos of marble slabs and whispered about skyrocketing contractor bids. Dad mentioned a small cash flow hiccup with his practice and asked, laughing, if I had any insider tips on high-yield bonds. I sent nothing. Offered nothing beyond polite well-wishes. Easter arrived. They posted photos, egg hunt on the lawn, Sophia glowing in pastels, twins in seersucker. My chair at the table was conspicuously empty. In May Grandma called. Her voice was low, deliberate. After the Easter brunch, your parents and Sophia stayed on the veranda. They were laughing about how you've finally become useful after all those years of coasting. Sophia said, she still thinks we actually miss her. The truth landed without surprise. Only confirmation. I thanked Grandma, told her I loved her, and ended the call. That night I sat on my rooftop deck watching the city pulse below. No rage. Just arithmetic. I had spent decades multiplying my effort to earn affection that was never divided equally. I went silent. 3 months later the first red flag appeared, a polished website for Ryder Strategic Security, listing me as founding partner and chief strategist. My headshot, my resume, inflated, my name tied to a firm promising trusted family-led cyber defense solutions. Contact number, my father's cell. I stared until my vision blurred. My attorney had the site suspended within hours. Trademark infringement notices followed. Criminal identity theft filings were prepared. The domain vanished overnight. I changed every credential, rebuilt my digital footprint from scratch, and waited. The silence that came next was total. 14 months later, my cousin emailed from a new address. Thought you'd want to know. Sophia enrolled in an RN program. Mom started fostering rescue dogs. Dad downsized the practice and sold the lake house. They don't bring you up anymore. Grandma won't let them spin the story. I didn't reply. I kept the life I'd earned. The 3-flat with its original oak floors, the dog who sleeps across my feet, the team that respects my judgment, the mornings when I wake up owing no one performance. Grandma and I talk twice a week. She never pressures me to forgive. She asks about the urban gardening project on my roof, about the cybersecurity scholarship I quietly funded in her name. One Sunday she said, "You gave them decades of grace." Walking away wasn't cruel, it was honest. I finally believed her. Sometimes I think about that brunch toast, about choosing to stop auditioning for love that arrived with terms and conditions. It wasn't revenge. It was subtraction. Remove the weight of one-sided devotion and discover how much lighter freedom feels. If you've ever been the dependable one who's never celebrated, the safety net nobody thanks, the sibling whose wins are met with shrugs or sudden hands outstretched, hear this. Your value was never theirs to score. Stop explaining yourself. Stop waiting to be seen. Start living in the room they never made space for. You were never the footnote. You were always the story worth telling.